Hello, this is not a review. It is just me, a Gundam building amateur, looking at a thing and talking about it. This is Banshee Ver Ka, master grade, 1/100th scale. 1/100th is my scale of choice. It's what I personally like the most. It's the size I personally like the most, and I like having a lot of things that fit together in a display. And so I'm not interested in recommendations for RGs. Just realize it's leaning back a little bit. RGs, PGs, or basically any kit, because I'm just, again, going through this hobby at my own pace, purchasing and building the things that I personally find interesting in the order that I find interesting, and just, experiencing things at my own rate and enjoying it quite a bit at that. This probably does not, it's also leaning a little bit to the side, sorry about that. This probably does not match what you saw in the thumbnail, but don't worry, that is not clickbait. This is just the proper unicorn mode of this thing. This is a transforming kit. Let's pull things apart just a little bit. It's a fully transforming kit. Almost every single panel on this armor panel is able to open up and do something different to look like what you saw in the thumbnail and much more glorious. But I wanted to, while I have it in this form, in which I top coated it, I had everything closed up for that, make it easier and safer in a way of speaking. I wanted to show this mode, which is the unicorn mode. It's what gives the unicorns their name. Well, it's one of the things that gives the unicorns their name. The mostly single piece unicorn style horn here, rather than the typical V fins that most Gundams have had throughout history. Most, not all. But this one, Banshee in particular, has a more ornate one than the base Unit 1. The white version of unicorn, splits up a little bit, gives its own thing. But I will, after just spending a little bit of time here, I will go ahead and do the full transformation and bring you back and show you this in its full destroy mode form, where all of the transparent orange that's inside of this, is hidden inside, is able to really shine and show you a lot of contrast. And there's even a different face. You don't have to take this face off. The whole head, you take the cheeks off, and then this opens up and the head actually flips. There are two versions inside of there. There's a lot of engineering that went into this. And, well, that's a good thing and also a bad thing. It's a good thing because of the complexity of it, and it's really interesting to go through the process of building this. And it's unexpected. It doesn't build, the unicorns in general. All of the unicorns are pretty much the same in their builds, but they don't build like other Gundams do. Looks like sorry about that. The beam rifle is also split apart. But the bad thing is that there are so many pieces, and there is so much transformation that's involved in the frame as well as the armor, that a lot of the pieces are finicky, and a lot of them want to move, and it's difficult to get them into exactly the pose that you want. A lot of these bits want to come apart and want to be aligned slightly differently. So you really need to put a lot of care into posing this in particular. And even while building it, some of the parts may want to kind of start to transform. They want to compress together where you want to keep them apart, depending upon which version you're trying to build right from the start. And yeah, that can be a little bit frustrating. Thankfully, unlike the first unicorn that I built, which was Unit 3, this Unit 2 here does not have any special coating. So it's just plain plastic, and then I applied all the decals. It's Ver Ka, so it's got a ton of water slide decals. And then I did just a semi-gloss or satin top coat over all of that. I did not do anything with the weapons yet, because I thought I might want to go through and do some individual detailing of little bits. I probably should have looked into paint details for these before putting the decals on, but I only want to do a little bit to those, not too much. They look pretty good as they are. Actually, I did a little bit of paint detailing to the bazooka though. I just put those little bits there. It's just with a paint marker. Just I thought they would look extra good. So that's it. And I put a little bit of paint detail back here just to get that to pop a little bit. So there's a little bit less of the soapy gray Gundam frame color. So that said, let me go ahead and transform this thing and show you what it looks like with its full glory. Wow. I did not track my time there, but I want to say that took me a good solid half an hour And it's not perfect. There are a couple things that are not fully locked into their fully transformed places just yet. I need to fiddle with it a little bit more, but I was trying to be careful not to rub off the top coat. It's a good high quality top coat on here, but still there's so much manipulation that has to be done to make this happen. It's a lot. It's definitely a lot. It's not impossible. It's not crazy or anything. I'm just saying it is a lot. But look at the transformation though. I actually did a little bit of extra credit. Astute observers may have noticed that there were a few parts that did not seem fully top coated up towards the top. Just little bits of flakes of skin here from, again, the manipulations. But look at all the orange that's showing up now. And just, well, there's more gold as well. I'll talk about that in just a second. But all the orange, it's what they call psycho frame. That's all on the inside of this thing. And you can see it all around. But there's more to it than just that. There's more to it than just the orange being unveiled to us, being revealed as part of this. The entire model has gotten significantly larger. It is wider. It is also much taller now. The feet have been turned from basically flat bottoms into high heels. The lower legs have been extended. The upper legs have been extended. So where you see the orange showing up right there, that much height has been added. Where you see the orange showing up right there, that much height has been added. And then down here, the height of the heel, or about half the height of the heel, has been added. So all that adds up. You can see one of the knees is not fully locked into place. That's probably the biggest major pain of this. All around the waist has all been opened up. This length right here that you see, the vertical length of orange you see in the arms has been added. And then the width of the torso has been increased. Oh, wait, before I get to that, the height of the torso has been increased by that amount right there. And then the width of the torso has been increased by the gap that you see, the horizontal gap that you see in the orange just right here. And then these flaps are open. There are even decals on the insides of the flaps. The face has been changed completely. It's more of a traditional Gundam face now. No longer shows the face plate in gold, but I also added, this is the same unicorn horn, the transformable unicorn horn for Banshee in particular that opens up like this. I also added in these crest bits here around the chest, and those are included in the set. Those are for anime accuracy. So the Ver Ka here is based on the original manga look of this suit, but they do include the gold pieces here as well as the pieces that they need to be attached to. They're different. So there's one piece here for the front and then one on the top. The ones that were there before were not top coated. So if you're looking for things that were wrong that you've seen here, well, there are 1,000 of them, but also very notably, speaking of things that are wrong, I just noticed that one of these feet has the thing angled just wrong. It's probably been commented on already, but these pieces weren't top coated. The other versions, but these versions are, because these are the ones that I want to actually have on there for display, because I'm never going to transform this back to its unicorn form. So help me all that is green and good in this world. I don't want to do that again. I wanted it like this in the first place. I did a top coat in place, so I kept it all closed together as I was building it, and then also left it in that form for the top coat to make everything, my entire life, significantly easier. And I'm glad that I did. And now I have this. All I did masking wise was masking off the eyes, so the gold pieces came off. The eyes were masked, and these little antennae are kind of built in a bit. They're kind of built deeper into the head rather than fully disassembling. Just masked those off and then masked off the bits of the shield over here, because I did want to top coat the edges here to get some matte type of finish. And this was a rush job. This was 100% a rush job because I don't have a ton of time to be building these kits. But from a 3-foot view, it looks perfectly fine. And you get up closer, you start to see tiny little things that are wrong, 1,000 of them, but that's just how it is. I also got a little bit too aggressive. I had to put a bunch of coats on a few of these bits down below. Got a little bit aggressive with the top coating is not quite as matte as it ought to be. But this is the kit. This is Banshee Ver Ka. This is how I want it to be displayed. It is fragile. Anytime you touch it, if you're not very careful in this form, it's going to want to start to de-transform, to turn back into its unicorn form, as some of the things want to collapse. Not everything locks up the way that it should, but that's just something that you have to deal with a transformable kit like this, especially one that has this much engineering in it, this many little bits that move and change. This is where everybody comments that, well, if you want a nice solid version, you should get the HG non-transforming, one of the HG non-transforming forms. But of course, again, as I always say, 1/100th is my scale. This is what I wanted. This is what I got. And I'm going to continue to get just kits that I personally want. And I will build them again, at my own rate. I will enjoy this hobby the way that I want to, as much as possible, and continue to learn and experiment and experience things, and not rely fully on the experience of others to determine my own enjoyment of the hobby and my own experience of it. And this was overall a good experience, because now look at it. I have this thing. I need to put it on a good stand, and then it'll live near my Fenix, and then I'm going to build my Unit 1 as well. And I chose the Unit 1 that I wanted, and we'll build that how I want it, and then I'll show it to you when it's done. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed looking at this. You'll be able to see this in the backgrounds of my build videos, or my build streams rather, over on Twitch in the future. Hopefully you'll be sticking around for a while. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now.